Hey, what's up, viewers of the tube? This is Mark and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be about a success story from one of the guys that actually was able to quit opiates using 3 to 5 day Suboxone taper method. So if you want to learn more about this method, then stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back. So I personally, a little disclaimer, first of all, I'm not a doctor, as you obviously know. I've posted my disclaimer on many of my videos, and I also do not recommend any particular strategy. My job is just to share with you my research, my experience, my success stories that I personally have or that somebody shares with me. So this particular success story is going to be about using Suboxone to kick opiate addiction. Not really addiction, but withdrawals, to be honest. So I don't want to mention guy's name because he actually asked me not to. At first I thought we are gonna have a formal interview where I'm gonna ask him questions, he would give me answers, but then he sort of decided not to show his face on the internet for privacy purposes because nobody in his family knew about it. So he didn't want it to be exposed. Even though I told him that my channel is tiny, I was happy to hit 100 subscribers after 3 months of active video content creation and editing and going nuts with sharing my stuff on Reddit. So like he said, he doesn't want to share, he doesn't want to show his face on the camera. So anyway, let's call him John. So John was using Oxy for a long period of time, about 3 years or so, and when Oxys became pretty much unavailable in New York, and I'm not sure where you are, but in New York metropolitan area, in the 5-borough area, you cannot find any Oxys or Roxy 30s. According to him, I personally don't know. I haven't done them in a long time, but so he switched to fentanyl. So he was using somebody made a spray for him, I believe, and they diluted it with water. Some nasty shit. Don't even get close to that because that stuff, it will kill you. It's really really dangerous for somebody to mix fentanyl with water in a basement and then you're gonna spray it in your nose. No, thank you. He tried to kick it with cold turkey. He went to fancy rehabs, and something wasn't really working. Something wasn't kicking. I had a discussion with him, and I for some reason can help others much better than I can help myself. In other words, I can tell you what I know and what I believe in, and you're gonna listen to me and you're gonna do it. Meanwhile, I do not listen to myself and do it. And it goes to many different things, not just addictions and whatever. It's also investment strategies and whatever. Maybe I have to grow some balls. I don't know. So he listened. We spoke for a long time. We had a nice discussion. I was trying to uncover the ultimate reason for his use, the ultimate cause for his addiction, and the root cause. And the guy has a beautiful life, like 2 kids, wife, beautiful family, everything's beautiful. But then I started to ask him questions about why the hell are you using for? I mean, what's the ultimate cause? What's the root cause? And obviously somebody with addiction has to have some kind of a mental disorder, but there's definitely an issue where a person is not happy with one area, at least one area of his life. So in his case, what we found out was he was craving adrenaline rush. He was an adrenaline fiend. I guess that was his reason. He really, maybe he was bored with life. Something he needed to excite him. He needed some new fun in life. He realized that it's ruining his life. It's ruining his business. He's getting into crazy fights with his wife. That it's really ruining his health. Like his health started to deteriorate. So he realized that using fentanyl could eventually end his life. Plain and simple. That stuff that you spray up your nose is made in a basement, not made in the lab, and each extra spray could be his last. So we spoke about it. I convinced him that you gotta stop, man. You know, you're gonna stop, or you're gonna really lose everything you have. And he wasn't also in denial, like a lot of drug addicts are. He was saying, well, I don't use it that much, and it's not like I spend a lot of money on it. This stuff is cheap. I don't have to like steal from my family, from my family's budget. Not like I'm some kind of junkie on the street shooting up dope. That was his kind of excuse and justification for using. But like I said, finally he decided. It took a long time. He decided to quit, and first he was trying to quit on his own with cold turkey. He disappeared for a couple of weeks. I didn't see him, didn't hear from him. He went away. He went to some island, I think Bali, in somewhere in Asia, with family retreat, and he was posting pictures on Facebook that everything's going great. He's loving it. He's there with his sister, his brother, both of his kids, so everything's nice and beautiful. And when he came back, I'm like, so how did it go? And he's like, oh, everything was great. I felt no withdrawals. I'm like, what do you mean? No withdrawals, really? But I guess he was having withdrawals. He was using tramadol, smoking a little bit of weed and all that stuff, so to kind of mask the symptoms. But plus, when you're on vacation by the beautiful beach with nice people around you, environment is very important. Environment impacts your decision making. So when you are around people that are into soccer or basketball, whatever, and all they talk about is soccer or baseball, believe me, you will be talking about that stuff eventually also, and you're going to become more interested in that. And if people are talking about drugs and getting high and withdrawals and pain and suffering and anxiety and everything else that's associated with drug use, then of course you're going to always think about withdrawals, anxiety, insomnia, restlessness, diarrhea, blah, 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 blah. After multiple unsuccessful cold turkey attempts, he could not tolerate the pain, he could not tolerate the withdrawal process. He was able to actually use Suboxone, and he knew. We decided to kind of go with this 3 to 5 taper plan. Well, he did it in 5 days, but you can do it in 3 days or 4 days, whatever works better for you. So the idea is as following. And again, ideally you want to have as much Suboxone as possible during these 3 days or 5 days, whatever. But you don't have to have all that much. And it doesn't matter which doses you really take, because you're only taking them for 3 to 5 days. Risk of getting actually physically addicted to Suboxone, slim to none. So this is what we did with John. So John took his last dose of that opiate, and it also has a short half-life. So we kind of calculated his cow scale, and we waited for more than 24 hours. I think it was 26, 27 hours after his last dose. But again, he actually is already seasoned user, so he's used to withdrawal symptoms. So for those that have been withdrawing and going through cold turkeys over and over again, it's almost like a walk in the park at first, because we already know what to expect. We are more prepared emotionally, mentally for it. So maybe he didn't feel that bad because he's used to it. So first 24 hours surprisingly was like a breeze. I would probably feel like shit, to be honest with you, but he was fine, so good for him. And after 24 hours he started feeling a little achy. He calls me, hey, should I take something, should I not take something? and he took nothing at all. And so again, surprisingly, he didn't even have crazy like GI problems, if you know what I mean. And I said, maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe you should wait a little longer to take your buprenorphine. And but then 2 hours later, when I told him that, he suddenly started to feel horrible, you know. But again, it's all I'm pretty sure it's all, you know, psychological. It's all mental. So about 27 hour-ish mark, but you don't have to go that far, you know. If you score 24, 25 on cow scale, you're fine. You could just, you know, start using Suboxone safely, knowing that you will not go through precipitated withdrawal. If you don't know, if you haven't watched my previous videos or other videos on YouTube, precipitated withdrawal is when you take Suboxone too early. And if you do, God forbid, I would not wish it on my worst enemy, because from what I heard, and again, thank God nothing happened to me like that, but from what I heard, from what I read online, precipitated withdrawals are like flu on steroids times 10. That's how bad it is. And you throw up, you shit your pants, you shiver, you're hot and cold at the same time, and it's happening all in the same 10-minute time frame, in lasts for an hour or more than an hour. So it's really bad, you know. When you take Suboxone too early, the naloxone and buprenorphine, they kick off all your true opiates, which is like, you know, heroin or you know, oxycodone, whatever it is. They kick them off from your receptors in one shot. So it's a really bad experience. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much about negativity. I want to share a success story. I don't want to talk about negative stuff. So he waited 27 hours. He took his Suboxone, and even though I was against it, but he took full 8 milligram strip. He had about three and a half strips altogether. So he told me, listen, I'm committed to this. I want to do only this. I don't want to trade one addiction for another. I just want to be done with this. And I am very against this short-term detoxes. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I believe Suboxone or methadone or whatever that's designed to be used for tapering or maintenance should be really used for that. It shouldn't be used for a very short term. But it was his decision, and the reason why I know why he was ready, because he was already on and off for the past 6 months, you know, more or less. He was already mostly off than on. So he would do some, you know, quick binge, 2-3 days, then suffer with some comfort medication, some marijuana for like a week, and then use again and again. So he was torturing his fucking body, man. I don't know why John was doing it, but you know, that's John. Anyway, so he took 8 milligrams film, and he obviously felt, you know, really crazy relief, which, you know, happened in about 40 minutes to an hour. And that was it. He didn't use, you know, anything that day. So full day he was kind of in withdrawal. So day 2, if you think about it, day 2 he took 8 milligram strip, and then he waited another 24 hours. He waited 24 hours and he took another 4 milligram strip. Keep one thing in mind: buprenorphine has a extremely long half-life. Not as long as methadone, but it's pretty long. It's about 36 hours, even though I think it's 24 hours. You know, from what I heard, from what I've seen in real life, people that I've spoken to, usually 24 hours on average. So 24 hours after your initial use of Suboxone, you still have half of the dose remaining in your system. So 24 hours after he took that 8 milligrams, he still had 4 milligrams left. So he took 4 more 24 hours later. Obviously felt great, felt like $1,000,000. No withdrawals whatsoever. So on day 4 of his official detox process, he took his 3rd time he took Suboxone. He took 2 milligram pill. But again, it does not matter in your case. It does not matter which amount you take. I actually suggest, even though I'm very against high dosages of anything, but if you need to take more, first day, do it. You will only take it for 5 days the most. So, so go back to John's story. So John took 2 milligrams. He skipped the next day, which was day 5, and he took his Suboxone dose for the last time, which was another 2 milligram dose. So altogether, he took Suboxone 4 times. So after 27 hours after his last fentanyl dose, he took 8. Next day he took 4. Then he took 2. And skipped a day, took another 2. Right? So 8, 4, 2, 2. Yeah. So he took Suboxone 4 days in total. And somehow he had absolutely zero physical symptoms after that. But again, my man, does mess around with a little bit of edibles, with THC edibles. He takes what else? He was taking some kind of he takes supplements like L-theanine. So he does, he is GNC's favorite shopper because he likes to mess with amino acids. And but those are not addictive. L-theanine, L-tyrosine are not addictive. You could take them all day long, really. They will not affect you in a bad way, in my opinion. But again, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my word for it. So yes, so he was able to take a couple of Imodium pills after that. L-theanine, L-tyrosine, GABA, 5-HTP. He does a lot of this fun mix of things. He takes them on different days. So one day he takes 5-HTP and GABA because he's depressed. The next day he takes L-theanine and L-tyrosine combined. Then he takes a couple of pills of loperamide, which is Imodium, to help GI stuff. Nothing mega dosing. No, normal, suggested dosings that says on the label. That's what he takes. And I didn't want to make this video. I wanted to talk about this so freaking much. I was tempted to talk about it 2 weeks ago, but I said, nah, screw this. I'm going to wait and see what happens in 2 weeks. I kind of believed in my man John, but I was not convinced enough that he's going to actually tough it out. And guess what? Toughed it out. He usually overestimates his problems and likes to bring drama into life. So if anything, he would overestimate his issues and problems. So, drama queen, what are you gonna do, right? My man John. Anyway, I hope I was able to give some of you some hopium, not opium, some hopium that there is a way out. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and nothing is impossible. If you really set your mind to win, you will win. And it's very important to change your environment. That's the key. That's the number one rule. Number one, a must in order to be successful with anything. If you want to be successful financially, you want to be surrounded by wealthy, smart, successful people. If you want to be drug-free, you want to surround yourself with clean, sober, determined people that are not talking about drugs, that are not thinking about drugs. You want to watch movies, read books that have nothing to do with drugs addiction or drug use. Let's say you want to have a healthy and fit body. You want to be surrounded by people in the gym that are actually determined, that go to the gym regularly and have a good, healthy diet, and they can share that with you. So you want to be almost modeling people that you want to become eventually. You want to be clean and sober. You want to be with people that are clean and sober, that are not going to remind you of drugs. They may not even offer you drugs. I'm not talking about, don't be friends with your friends because they're going to be giving you drugs to snort. No, but they might remind you, they might trigger you to think about drugs. So Triggers, this is a whole different topic of conversation. It's a little bit diluted now in my video. I was talking about success story and I ended up talking about many different things. Welcome to my world. I do this shit all the time. Alright guys, I hope this video was a little bit inspiring. I really felt great making this video. Honestly, this is probably the first video that I actually felt really good about, inside and out, and I really wanted to share this with you. And again, even though I don't believe in anything short term, I truly hope that somebody can utilize this strategy and maybe go away for a couple of weeks, a month, to use this for 3 to 5 days and eventually, become clean and sober. And if you want to learn more why I talk about Suboxone tapering instead of 1, 2, 3 and do it 1 time or 3 times, you could definitely watch my videos. I will try to find something down and link it up here somewhere. If not, then just go to my channel. I have a couple of videos that talk about why Suboxone should be tapered, and you shouldn't take it for more than a year, but you also should not take it just 1 time. Suboxone was designed for you to really get your life together and make drastic improvements in your life. It wasn't really meant to be used 3 days and that's it. I hope you have a blessed day. Again, Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you very much for all your support, for your subscriptions, for your comments, for your likes. This really keeps me going. Your likes and comments are the reason why I want to make these videos, and I'll promise to deliver great content throughout 2020. And by the way, and if you have a success story to share and you don't mind me calling you, asking you a few questions, or maybe meeting with you if you are in New York area, I would love to meet with you. I'd love to even compensate you for your time, and maybe we can have a coffee and nice chat. I'll take some notes down. You'll share your story with me, and I'll share it with the world, because we want to hear more success stories. Unfortunately, this whole industry is all about negative shit, and I'm tired of negative stories, negative mood, negative everything. Anyway, guys, this video is becoming way too fucking long. Have a great day. Enjoy your year. Be strong, be clean, be sober. I love you. Peace.